And I don't know if we are live or not. And we are live.
We
Hello,
are
everybody.
live. Hi everyone, how are you doing? We would
I'm
like
doing
to.
great. I'm just looking at my phone because I want to see us here and see if we have any questions because I cannot see all
Yeah,
that from here.
yeah,
I am super happy and excited to be here today. First of all, because I love sharing the screen with you, Elena, and
yeah.
also sharing our experience, our process, our journey with other fellow women. And also because I launched a challenge last week. So I want to
Yes,
make sure, I want just to check how many of us were able to keep that challenge in mind.
yes. Um, we are happy to be here. As Marta is saying, I'm not seeing the live here. Do you see your phone? I don't see it.
Or not? Yes, I'm seeing it here.
Okay, perfect. Okay, if it's there, it's there. Those of you that are watching live, please let us know where you are, so we really feel part of the community. And those of you that will see the recording later, also tell us where you are.
Yeah, just put something like replay from Colombia or replay from or live from Boston, wherever you are.
So feeling the community is important. Yes, we launched a challenge last week about we express love to ourselves and or to others and or the environment and or our pets. Um,
Our
so
pets are others, aren't they?
when others not you, when I think in others, okay, it's a good point. And my plants, maybe others as well.
Yeah.
So this idea that love is something evolving and involving everything that exists. So we would love to learn about your experience with this challenge. And Martha, what did you do to feel love and to express love to others?
Well, for me, the difference is that I can feel love um, in general. I can feel love. I am love. I am loved. Now, over the last 4 days since we talked about it, I was a lot more intentional
Yeah.
on giving that love. So I was reminding myself, I was conscious about the fact that I wanted to do it, make sure that I was doing it every day, so that it becomes a habit. Couple of things I did over the last 4 days that I had not done before with such discipline was first of all, I meditated every day for 12 to 15 minutes.
Nice.
So and that for me is self-love. It's a way of going to a place where I can just find my center and recharge my batteries. I was a lot more conscious about spending time with my daughter. I normally don't pick her up when she comes back from school. My husband picks her up from the bus stop, and um, I did it twice over the last 4 days, so almost every day. And it was a big change for me and the conversation that we were having together. And you said it's interesting that you were saying that the environment is also something because the weather was so nice here. I spent a lot of time outside grounding in the backyard, just barefoot on earth. So those are the things that I by the end of the day, I had to remind myself I want to do something. I want to show love, be love, or love myself tomorrow. So thinking about some of the strategies. What about you? What have you done?
No, and it's nice, as you said. I mean, when it's out there, I mean, it's more the possibilities of sticking to it. I mean, enhances. Uh, Quite similar. Spending time outside, and I was mindful of being silent and static rather than. And I play a lot of listening the birds, listening the wind, observing, listening, and recovering the 360 view, I mean, the peripheral view. I mean, sometimes what happens to me and to many of us, that we are so focused with our laser view that we are like, it's a very narrow view. And once we are able to develop the peripheral view again, it's like love emerges because we feel the connection. Some other thing that I did with a friend of mine that has a very bad case of COVID, spending time with her, that basically she can't talk either. So was either chatting, being there, saying that I love her. So being very intentional in, I mean, yeah, the things that maybe you do, being intentional the experience is different. And why don't we talk a little bit about
Elena, before talking about it, I wanted to do a couple of things. So first of all, say you were talking, and I believe we are love.
Yeah.
So once we become more conscious about what we do and how we do it, we realize that we are love. And one of the things we always do, and for some reason today we started talking, is some exercises that are going to put us in the mood and make this space in our bodies and energetically, so that we can take this conversation, we can reflect. So would you like to guide us through some exercises?
Let's do something simple yet powerful. So sitting, hands with our palms downwards on our thighs. Just inhaling and exhaling. We can exhale through our mouth so the stale energy gets out. Feel the chair, our buttocks, the back of our thighs, our back. Just be there for a few breaths. Now let's feel like a string in the crown of our head that is pulling softly towards the sky. So our spine aligns, our vertebrae find some space between the vertebrae and some pulsation. So let's open our arms shoulder high. Couple of breaths here, and let's hug ourselves and be there. Breathing in contact with ourselves, holding lovingly ourselves. And in this embrace, in this hug, we are embracing and hugging all the women that we know and those that we don't know either. Everyone in a big, big embrace. Let's open our arms again. And let's embrace ourselves again. The other arm on top this time. In this embrace, let's also embrace our ancestors, the women that came before us, and the women that will come after us, and all the living beings. Whenever you are ready, palms again on your thighs. Feel the chair supporting you, feet on the floor. Grounding. and feel the string again gently reminded you that you are also connected with the sky and the universe. And whenever we are ready, we are back.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think it's amazing. And we're gonna go back to talk about love, but it's amazing when we take the time to pause,
Yeah,
recharge. Then I don't know about you, but I feel a lot more energy to
yes.
go forward.
Yeah.
And one of the things I share this with you, but one of the things, Elena, that I'm doing right now is I'm taking a training course, a training for coaches, and we're talking about interrupting your day so that you can recharge. Because sometimes we feel that we can go throughout the day nonstop. And the reality is that if you have the discipline of interrupting your own pattern, you actually become a lot more productive, efficient, and happy at the end of the day. So I didn't think it was going to work for me because you have to do it, within certain windows of times. But the more I interrupt myself, the more that I feel I'm being calmer, more productive, and happier at the end of the day. So I don't know. I think for me, it's working.
No, it's interesting because it is true that focusing is powerful. Sometimes when you hack yourself because you interrupt yourself, you are able to have a disruptive thought. So in terms of innovation and really changing patterns, stopping, slowing down and resting, very powerful. And you and I were talking earlier about the chemistry of love. And what happens in the brain when we are able to release serotonin and dopamine instead of adrenaline and cortisol that are the fight or flight chemicals. The important thing that we were talking about is that rather than being, just on the receiving side of, okay, whatever, this is the chemistry of my brain today, we can actively prompt ourselves to feel connected, to feel happier, to feel loved, to be in a state of love, as we like to say. So what are some of the strategies that we can use to really prompt ourselves to a state of love?
Well, it's you were talking about chemicals on the brain, and these are not normally things that we connect to each other. So we talk about love as something that is fluid and untouchable, and you can feel, well, yes, and your brain also has chemical reactions when you feel love or when you feel fear. We're not going to talk about fear today. We're going to talk about love because February is the month of love. So some of the strategies that we can, explore in order to feel love during our days is to, take those pauses. And those pauses don't necessarily have to be of 25 minutes, an hour. Sometimes I was reading some articles that says that even 10 seconds, if you can focus for 10 seconds on sensations, either you touch something, you listen to something, you take a deep breath, that can actually activate the part of your brain that creates serotonin, and gives you that sense of happiness and fullness. And so taking those moments, especially when you're busy, especially when you have a packed day, especially when you know there's a lot of stress coming your way, so that you take a break from that busyness and stress, and you create a safe space for you to recharge your own batteries.
And sometimes we believe, or many of us believe, that it's either or. Is either I take care of myself or take care of others. And the analogy that we love to use,
especially for moms.
yeah, is when you are in a plane and there is a decompression, you need to put the mask in yourself to be able to tend to others.
Help others.
So it's a cycle. I mean, it's a virtuous cycle. I recharge myself. I am love myself. I'm loving myself. I'm able to love others. So it's not either or, it's and, always and. What we did a moment ago, feeling the body, holding ourselves, breathing, feeling that we are connected and connected. We took 30 seconds, I don't know, a minute, changes the experience. Something that Martha and I are very fans of is gratitude. Gratitude is not that something changes outside, is that we adjust our filters, and the things that were already there and we were not able to perceive, when we adjust the filters and we perceive, we start to find that there are many things available to us, and that again changes the chemistry of the brain, and we are prompt to a state of love.
Yeah. Speaking about gratefulness, I know some of you have already heard me talk about my daughters. I would like to share the example again because I don't know, some time ago, probably a year or two, I lost track of time with the pandemic, and we can then talk about pandemic and love as well. We started an exercise at night so that we could take a couple of minutes at night before going to sleep to think about those things that we were grateful for on that day. Not any other day, not tomorrow, not in my life, today. And we started the practice of looking at 3 things. And we can talk about why 3 things, what's the theory behind it, but we won't. It was a very simple exercise. I would ask her, what are you grateful for today? And she would ask me the same question. And I remember at the beginning, it was very difficult to come up with 3 things that happened today. Like nothing major happened today. So I don't know what I'm grateful for. And then, last night, I don't know, we stopped counting after 7 or 8 because you train your brain. And what I can tell you is that it's such a nice feeling. My heart is filled with love when I am able to be grateful for my day. And let me share a couple of examples, because it was nothing, it was not, I won the lottery today, or I visited a friend. It was, so last night was about, we did something. My daughter and I went to buy something together that she has asked me to do for a long time. We watched something on TV that she wanted to watch together. And for me, I had the opportunity to talk with a friend that I haven't talked for a couple of weeks. So it's the simple things. It's nothing major. So feeling love, giving love, receiving love has to do with the small things that we can do every day. And actually, we can do it all day long.
All day long. And something that maybe is the silver lining is the capability of slowing down and being much more perceptive of what's going on. We were talking about nature. The state of awe, as in awesome. Nature is this incredible thing that happens that can be, the perfection of a drop of water on a leaf, or flower, perfumes, animals, the breeze. So it is amazing. It's grandiose. We are part of it, and it's much larger than ourselves. So it's a great metaphor of love as well. We are part, we belong, it's greater than us, holds everything, is inclusive.
And I don't know about you, but when you go outside, when you're in nature and it's not super hot outside, or super cold, when you go outside, just start noticing, what do you feel? How do you feel? because for the most part, there's something that comes, you know, and actually holds you. You're feeling more relaxed. You're usually feeling, you know, embraced by nature. So notice those things that give you the energy that you need. And it might be different for different people.
Mm.
Helen, I wanted to talk about the power of touch because we've been, you know, taking a hug. So tell us about the power of a hug and you know, what happened during the pandemic, what's happening even today, because the pandemic is still with us.
Yes, well, we have a lot of nervous, how do you say, terminaciones nerviosas? Well, whatever.
I don't know. Connections, nervous connections. I don't know how.
Our palms, the sole of our feet, and our face are extremely sensitive part of our body. So that's why caressing is so important. Hugging, when we touch someone's faces, that's why it's so important to be barefoot. And as you were saying earlier, being on the grass, on the sand, on the soil, barefoot, there is a connection. There are things that it's a chemistry balance that also happens when we are in contact with other person, in contact with ourselves, in contact with the soil. It's important sometimes, I mean, and again, depending on temperature, but to feel the breeze, to feel water, to be inside water. The pandemic disrupted this. So we were afraid of being in contact with others, or every time that we touch other, we say, okay, what if he or she is sick? So this was something that we started to be afraid of being in contact with others. So it was a big disruption in the way of creating a loving space and a loving experience for ourselves and for others.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, Elena, but I do know about you because after almost 2 years that we haven't seen each other, you know, hugging each other was meant a lot because when you hug someone, when you touch someone, you feel the love. So the love is coming through that exchange of energy, and that creates the chemical balance in your body. But you know, when we hug our kids, our spouses or partners, when we hug ourselves or a friend, that love becomes real.
Yes.
And the pandemic, unfortunately, took that opportunity a little bit away from us, and we're still seeing not a lot of human contact. And at the same time, that human contact is what people miss the most.
Yes. So, yes. So every time that you can, I mean, inside your bubble and being in contact with myself, I am here. I am here. I am here. The skin is our largest organ and is related to the boundaries. That is another topic for another day. So it's also saying, I am here, these are my boundaries, and I can be in contact with others, with nature, with myself. So it's this experience of boundaries and contact in the same act, which is extremely powerful. So,
yeah.
Okay.
So February is the month of love. Next week, you know, a lot of countries, including the US, we celebrate Valentine's. Now, there are some Valentines and Galentines. I love love, and I love that we celebrate love, and we give it, aside of the commercial side of it, that we give love such an importance. So we're gonna be present and loving a lot more consciously over this month of February, and some of the things that we would like to share, we're going to be sharing a lot more with you, but because this is the month of love, we are preparing many surprises for you this month and next.
Yeah.
And And we would like to actually ask you or invite you to consciously choose that love, especially in these months, towards yourself, others, the environment, whatever you want. So what else can we recommend, share with our listeners, Elena, today before we close the day today?
Wow, what a good question. What is happening to me now is I am much more prone to the experience of silence. Sometimes the noise is high in our environment and inside ourselves, and the experience of silence is very intimate. And when we are able to create an intimate experience with ourselves, we are much more able to be intimate with someone else. Can be the intimacy of a partner, related much more to sex, can be the intimacy with a sibling, a son, a daughter, a friend, being there. Being intimate is about, okay, I am here with my whole self. So when I create opportunities to be silent and I'm here for myself, I'm more able to be here for you as well.
Yeah. Well, one more thing I would like to invite our listeners to do, or to start doing, if you haven't done it, or continue doing, or double down in what you're doing, is to remind yourself that you are loved, and to love yourself. Just we talk a lot in our programs about compassion to others and compassion to yourself. So self-compassion starts with loving myself. My invitation for some of us that might be super difficult with ourselves and set up expectations that are above anyone else's expectations, is love yourself, treat yourself with compassion. And whenever you're talking to yourself, that self-talk that we all have every day, think about how would you treat a friend of yours? How would you talk to a friend that you love? And then, you know, reflect on how are you talking to you, and what are the things you would like to tell yourself, that you are loved and that you are loved.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So let's leave it here. So a lot to reflect, a lot to enjoy. Eat something delicious, do something delicious, and be there for yourself and for the others.
Yeah. And ladies, if you have any questions, as usual, send us your comments, send us DM. We're going to try to address as many of your questions that we can. And one thing that I think we forgot to say is, please share with us what is that you have done over the last 4 days to love, or to express love. As much as Elena and I shared, we would love to hear from you, and we would like to inspire yourself and others on the month of love.
Thank you.
And with that, thank you. Love you all. Love yourself. And see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Enjoy the rest of your day.